Through the wormhole, the night skies over Metropolis glowed with fire. Superman streaked through the atmosphere, his cape trailing like a comet, his ears filled with the screams of panicked civilians below. The source of the terror was not another Lex Luthor scheme or an accident gone wrong. It was an armada, alien warships, obsidian black and alive with glowing crimson veins, cut across the heavens like blades. Their lead ship tore through the clouds, firing plasma blasts that melted steel towers like candles. Superman darted into the chaos, his fist slamming into alien drones, ripping through armored hulls with sonic cracks. Each strike echoed like thunder. For a moment, the tide seemed to shift, Earth's champion holding back an alien storm. But then the sky itself ripped open. A circle of swirling violet light shimmered above the city, growing wider by the second. The warship had triggered something unnatural, a wormhole. Its edges burned with electric fury, pulling in debris, fire, even clouds, like a cosmic vacuum. Superman's sharp eyes narrowed. If that thing stays open, he didn't finish the thought. He didn't need to. Earth would be consumed. Without hesitation, he launched himself into the vortex. Inside the wormhole, reality fractured. Space twisted, folding in impossible patterns. Superman strained, his body stretched between gravity wells, his very cells screaming. The stars elongated into streaks, flashes of alien constellations spinning past him. For the first time in a long while, Superman felt helpless, like he was being dragged by forces beyond his control. When the storm spat him out, silence greeted him. He floated above a world unlike any he had ever seen. A crimson sky stretched endlessly, lit not by a yellow sun but a red one, its rays dull and draining. Jagged mountains the size of continents pierced the clouds. Cities floated in the air, chained to colossal fragments of rock drifting through space. And surrounding it all was a shimmering haze, a radiation field glowing green. Kryptonite energy. Superman gasped as pain fled in his chest. His muscles felt heavier, his flight slowed, and the warmth of the sun, the thing that gave him strength, was absent here. He landed roughly on a barren plateau, the ground cracking beneath him. The soil itself hummed with the same toxic energy. Superman clenched his fists, trying to push the weakness away. But the truth was undeniable. This galaxy was built on his greatest weakness. Meanwhile, light years away, or perhaps only a heartbeat behind, another figure stumbled into the same storm. Bruce Banner had tracked the alien invaders to their energy core, hidden in an abandoned facility. He never planned to follow them into space. He barely understood the technology. But when the wormhole burst open in front of him, its pull was impossible to resist. He tried to fight it, tried to hold on, but the Hulk does not resist. He becomes the storm. The green giant roared as the vortex yanked him across realities, his massive hands clawing at the void, his body glowing with gamma energy. Then, with a crash that shook the alien plateau, Hulk landed, sending up a shockwave of dust and rock. Superman staggered at the tremor, turning sharply. His eyes widened. The Hulk rose from the crater he had made, breathing heavily, his skin shimmering in the crimson glow. For a moment, there was silence, only the howl of alien winds. Superman stepped forward cautiously. Banner. No, yo. Superman. Hulk's voice thundered, half growl, half recognition. His fists clenched as though ready for battle. In this strange, toxic galaxy, every instinct screamed enemy. Superman raised a hand, trying to calm him. Listen, I don't know how you got here, but we can't. The ground erupted. Hulk launched himself forward, slamming into Superman like a meteor. The shockwave rippled across the plateau, shattering stone pillars and sending alien wildlife scattering. Superman skidded back, coughing from the kryptonite haze. Hulk swung again, fists colliding with Superman's forearms in a clash that echoed like thunder. This world, Superman gasped, holding his ground. It's poisoning me. We can't fight. No talk. Only fight. Hulk roared, smashing him into the side of a jagged cliff. Superman pushed back with a grunt, heat vision flaring, but it sputtered weakly in the toxic air. The blast only grazed Hulk, who snarled and threw a boulder the size of a tank. For minutes they battled, the alien world shaking with their blows. But as the dust settled, both realized something chilling. They weren't alone. Dozens of alien soldiers emerged from the horizon, their armor glowing with the same kryptonite energy. Their eyes burned with malice. One of them raised a staff and barked in a guttural tongue. Two champions, captured for the Colosseum. Energy nets flared, glowing chains snapping around Superman's weakened limbs. He fell to one knee, teeth gritted, unable to resist. Hulk tried to smash his way free, roaring louder than a hurricane, but the psychic chains shimmered with power that slowed his rage. Superman looked up at him, struggling, his voice low but firm. "If we don't work together, we won't survive." Hulk's furious eyes met Superman's. For once, there was hesitation. And in that moment of tension, the alien army closed in. The two strongest beings of Earth stood captured, surrounded, dragged toward a city that floated in the crimson sky. Above it loomed an arena of impossible scale, a Colosseum where champions fought not for victory, but for survival. The wormhole had not just brought them to another galaxy. It had thrown them into the heart of a nightmare. To be continued. Enemies of the galaxy. The chains burned like fire. Superman staggered as alien guards dragged him through the crimson streets of the floating city. Each step weakened him further. The chains pulsed with kryptonite energy, feeding off his cells. His cape dragged in the dust, torn and blackened from the earlier battle. Beside him, the Hulk snarled like a caged beast, his massive body wrapped in psychic restraints. The glowing bands flickered whenever he struggled, releasing a shock that forced even his gamma-fueled rage to stumble. Still, Hulk's eyes blazed with fury, promising that this fight was not over. The streets roared with alien crowds. Thousands of strange beings lined balconies and towers, jeering, chanting, throwing shards of glowing crystal as the two captives passed. To them, Superman and Hulk weren't enemies, they were entertainment. At the end of the road, a colossal arena loomed. Its walls stretched into the crimson clouds, carved with glowing runes, pulsing with the same energy that poisoned Superman. The Colosseum of the Alien King. The gates boomed open. The guards shoved the heroes inside. Instantly, the roar of 100,000 alien spectators thundered across the battlefield. The Colosseum floor was a wasteland of jagged rocks, pits of molten crystal, and broken weapons of countless fallen warriors. From a throne carved into the wall of the arena, the Alien King rose. His armor glowed crimson, veins of green energy coursing through it like living lightning. His eyes gleamed with cruel intelligence. "Behold!" His voice boomed, translated through psychic waves that even Superman could hear in his mind. "Champions of a distant world, the beast and the false god. Tonight, they will fight for survival." The crowd erupted. Alien gates opened around the arena. From each tunnel poured monstrous warriors, creatures bred for war. 10-foot-tall reptilian gladiators, insectoid beasts with razor limbs, and armored brutes wielding plasma-forged axes. Superman staggered to his feet, breathing hard, his strength waning. Hulk growled, snapping against his bonds until the psychic restraints cracked. The moment his chains broke, he slammed his fists into the ground, shaking the arena. The crowd roared louder, delighted by his defiance. Superman glanced at Hulk, his voice strained. "We can't fight each other now. Not if we want to live." Hulk growled, his chest heaving. For a moment, his rage faltered, then he nodded. "Smash! Together!" The first wave came crashing in. An insectoid warrior leaped, claws gleaming. Hulk met it midair, tearing it in half with a roar that made the stadium quake. Plasma blood sprayed across the sand. Superman, though weakened, moved with precision, catching a reptilian brute's axe mid-swing and twisting it to slam the creature into the date. The crowd screamed in excitement. Wave after wave poured in. The heroes fought back-to-back, every motion a desperate dance. Hulk crushed foes with fists like meteors, smashing them into the ground so hard the earth split. Superman used what little strength he had left to counter smarter, faster, dodging blows, redirecting enemy attacks, landing precise punches that sent opponents sprawling. But every strike cost him. His breathing grew ragged. His hands trembled. The kryptonite haze in the air ate away at his body, turning each moment of effort into agony. Hulk noticed. Between battles, he growled, "Superman, weak." Superman clenched his jaw. "This place, it feeds on kryptonite. It's killing me." Hulk's teeth ground together. He smashed another alien aside, his voice low. Then Hulk, smash more. The final gate thundered open. From the shadows, a monstrous beast emerged. A titan of bone and crystal, 4 arms lined with glowing spikes, its roar shaking the arena. The crowd silenced, then exploded in anticipation. The alien king smiled. The devourer will end him. The beast charged, its steps shaking the Colosseum. Superman braced, but his legs buckled. The kryptonite chains had drained too much. The devourer's claw swiped. Hulk leaped in front, taking the hit across his chest. Blood sprayed, but Hulk only roared louder, grabbing the claw and twisting until bone shattered. The monster screamed in fury, its other arms lashing out. Superman forced himself up, eyes blazing faintly. His heat vision sputtered, but he aimed it true, striking the creature's crystal spine. Cracks spread across its glowing armor. "Now!" he shouted. Hulk bellowed, leaping high, smashing both fists down onto the fractured spine. The impact was nuclear. Crystal shards exploded outward, the beast collapsing into the dust, its body shaking the ground one last time before falling still. The Colosseum erupted in chaos. The crowd screamed, half in fury, half in awe. The alien king rose again, his face twisted in anger. "Impressive, but you are still mine." Guards surged forward, surrounding the exhausted heroes. Hulk roared, but even his strength had limits. Superman fell to one knee, clutching his chest, sweat dripping down his face. The alien king extended his hand. Psychic chains of energy coiled from his palm, wrapping around the two warriors once more. "You will not die yet," he hissed, his voice echoing in their minds. "You will break for me. Tomorrow, your true trial begins." The crowd cheered wildly, chanting for blood, as the chains dragged Superman and Hulk back into the shadows of the prison tunnels. As the gates slammed shut, Superman whispered, his voice weak but resolute. "They want us broken, but if we stand together, we'll break them instead." Hulk's lips curled into a rare, grim smile. Hulk likes that. The alien guards shoved them into the darkness, but in that darkness, a bond had been forged. For the first time, Earth's two strongest warriors were not rivals. They were allies. To be continued. Escape and return. The prison was carved from living crystal, its walls glowing faintly with sickly green light. Each pulse of energy sent a shiver through Superman's body. His strength, once limitless, now felt like sand slipping through his fingers. Chains of kryptonite wrapped around his wrists and chest, binding him to the wall like a trophy. Across the chamber, Hulk paced like a caged beast. The psychic restraints shimmered each time he slammed his fists into the floor, sending ripples of pain through his body. Yet his rage never dimmed. It grew. Above them, a balcony overlooked the chamber. The alien king stood with hands clasped behind his back, his crimson armor radiating power, his eyes glowing with cruel satisfaction. "You fought well in my arena," he said, his voice echoing directly into their minds. "But strength without obedience is chaos. Tomorrow, you will kneel. Tomorrow, you will be my instruments to break your home world." Superman struggled against the chains, sweat dripping from his brow. His voice was hoarse but steady. "You'll never touch Earth." The alien king tilted his head, amused. "Earth is already mine. This galaxy's energy flows into the wormhole even now. Soon, your planet will choke under skies of green fire, and no one will rise to stop me, not when their champions kneel." He turned and vanished into the shadows, leaving the two prisoners in silence. For a long moment, there was only the hum of the chains. Hulk growled, finally breaking the silence. "Superman." Hulk tired of chains. Superman forced a small smile despite the pain. "So am I. But I can't break these. Not here. This world drains me." Hulk stumped closer, the restraints flaring with each step. He leaned down, his massive face inches from Superman's. Then Hulk break them. "For both of us." With a roar that shook the chamber, Hulk pulled against his restraints. Psychic lightning burned across his body, but he pushed harder, every muscle bulging, every vein glowing with gamma fury. The restraints cracked, once, twice, and then shattered in an explosion of light. The feedback rocked the chamber, shattering Superman's chains in the process. He fell forward, gasping, rubbing his raw wrists. Hulk towered over him, smoke rising from his skin, but his eyes burned with victory. "Free," Hulk growled. Superman stood slowly, placing a hand on Hulk's shoulder. "Together, we end this, now." They stormed through the prison corridors, smashing guards aside. Hulk plowed through walls like paper, while Superman, though weakened, used precision and speed to disable their captors. Their escape was chaos. Alarms blared, the city above trembling as the alien king's forces scrambled to contain them. At last, they burst into the Colosseum once more. The crowd screamed in shock as the two warriors stood in the arena, unchained, their defiance burning brighter than the crimson sky. The alien king descended from his throne, his armor glowing brighter than ever. A spear of pure psychic energy formed in his hands. "You should have stayed broken," he hissed. "Now you will die." The final battle began. The alien king struck first, his spear slicing through the air with the force of a storm. Hulk caught the blow, roaring as sparks exploded, but the impact hurled him across the arena, smashing him into a wall. Superman charged, his fist striking with desperate speed. Each hit landed like thunder, but the kryptonite haze drained his power, slowing him, weakening him. The alien king countered, blasting him with a wave of psychic fire that drove him to his knees. "You are nothing without your son," the king taunted. "You are nothing but a shadow, hey." Superman gasped, his vision blurring. For a moment, he believed it, believed he was failing, that Earth was already lost. But then he heard a voice, weak, guttural, but defiant. "Hulk doesn't quit." The green giant pulled himself from the rubble, blood dripping down his chest, eyes blazing. He charged with a roar, slamming into the alien king with such force that the Colosseum itself shook. The crowd shrieked in panic as the walls cracked, dust and debris raining from above. Superman, teeth gritted, lifted his head. He focused on the sky. Through the haze, he saw it, a distant star, faint, dying, but still burning. He closed his eyes, drawing in its light, its warmth. Even poisoned, even weakened, the sun was his anchor. Strength surged back into his veins. His eyes ignited once more. The tide turned. Hulk grappled the alien king, holding him in place, muscles straining, veins bulging. Superman, now. Superman launched into the air, his fist glowing with the last of his borrowed solar energy. With a cry that split the heavens, he slammed into the alien king, the impact shattering the crimson armor and sending shockwaves across the arena. The psychic spear shattered. The king screamed, his body crumpling into the dust. The Colosseum fell silent. Then, as the alien king collapsed, the wormhole above the city began to unravel, its energy unstable without his control. The heroes staggered to the center of the arena, staring at the collapsing sky. The wormhole pulsed wildly, threatening to tear the galaxy apart. Superman turned to Hulk. "If we don't close it, this world and Earth are finished." Hulk smirked, bruised and blooded. Then Hulk smashed, one more time. Together, they leapt into the air, soaring toward the wormhole. Superman channeled the last of his solar energy into a beam of pure light, while Hulk, fists blazing with gamma rage, smashed into the alien core holding the vortex open. The explosion was cataclysmic. Light consumed the sky, a storm of energy ripping through the alien city. For a moment, both heroes were lost in the fire. And then, silence. When Superman opened his eyes, he was floating above Earth. The familiar blue sky stretched endlessly, the yellow sun warming his skin. Beside him, Hulk drifted in the air, unconscious but alive, his massive chest rising and falling. They landed gently on a quiet field far from the chaos. For a moment, there was only peace, the birds singing, the grass swaying. Earth was safe. Hulk groaned, sitting up. "We win." Superman smiled tiredly. "We survived. And Earth is still standing. That's enough." The green giant chuckled, a deep rumble that shook the ground. "Hulk, like fighting with Superman. You good partner. Strong, not puny." Superman extended his hand. Hulk stared at it, then clasped it firmly, the ground quaking with the force. "Next time," Superman said, his smile faint but resolute. "We won't wait until the universe is ending to team up." Hulk grinned. "Next time, Hulk bring bigger smash." The two heroes stood together under Earth's sun, scarred but unbroken. Somewhere in the depths of space, remnants of the alien king's empire still stared. But for now, Earth's champions had returned, and the galaxy knew that even across wormholes, kryptonite worlds, and impossible odds, heroes rise together. The end.